Shalom, it's Tehila from the Kefar. Welcome back to my channel. This is the place to be to learn Hebrew online. And in this video, I'm going to teach you a few different ways to talk about your favorite things in Hebrew. Okay, and I'll show you some examples as we go through them. So the first way is a phrase that's hachi ahuv alai. So hachi means the most, and you can pair it with adjectives, and you can also pair it with verbs. We'll talk about verbs a little bit later, but with adjectives, like for instance, hachi gadol, okay? Gadol meaning big. Hachi gadol is the biggest, okay? Or the most big. Hachi katan, the smallest, okay? Katan meaning small. Hachi katan, the smallest. And here we have hachi ahuv. So ahuv is an adjective that means loved or beloved. So hachi ahuv is literally most loved. And when you talk about favorites, you use the prepositional pronouns that start with al. For example, alai, so like most loved to me or most loved by me. So hachi ahuv alai is one way of saying that something is your favorite. For example, hatseva hachi ahuv alai hu turquoise. Okay, tseva is color, so it's the color that's most loved by me. Hatseva hachi ahuv alai, most loved by me. Okay, aka my favorite. Hu turquoise, which in this case is turquoise. And so one thing to know about this phrasing, ahuv is an adjective. And of course, you know that adjectives have genders. And so whether we use the masculine ahuv or the feminine ahuva, and we'll look at an example in a second, depends on what it is or the gender of what it is that we say is our favorite. So for instance, my favorite color, we use ahuv because the word for color, seva, is masculine. If I were to say my favorite dress, simla, then we would use ahuva because the dress is feminine. Okay, so in this case, it's not about the gender of the speaker, but it's the gender of whatever object it is that we're saying is our favorite. Okay, so this was an example using the masculine, hachi ahuv alai. And if we look at an example using the feminine, we see ahuva. So ha'ona hachi ahuva alai, okay, my favorite season, ona meaning season, hi kaitz, okay, so my favorite season is summer. And you'll notice here that ona, which is a season, is feminine, so we say hachi ahuva alai instead of hachi ahuv alai. Okay, so that's one way, hachi ahuv alai, okay, my favorite, aka most loved by me. So another way of talking about favorites is to drop the hachi and to put the ha with ahuv. So ha ahuv alai or ha ahuva alai, again, depending on the gender of what it is that we're talking about. For example, my favorite food, okay? The word for food is ochel. It's a masculine noun. So I would say ha ochel, ha ahuv alai, okay? My favorite food is, and then whatever the food is. If we want to talk about something feminine, like for instance, a word, milah, which is a feminine noun, then instead of using ha'ahuv, we use ha'ahuva. So hamilah ha'ahuva alai, my favorite word, he is shefa, okay, which means abundance. So the first way that we talked about was using hachi and ahuv, so hachi ahuv alai. And the second way is without hachi, using the phrase ha'ahuv alai. And the third one that we are going to talk about is we're going to bring back hachi, and we're going to pair it with the verb to love, which is le'ehov. It's a pa'al verb. The root is aleph he bet. So ohev or ohevet, ohavim, ohavot for masculine and feminine plural. And we're going to use hachi plus ohev, okay, meaning love the most. So ani hachi ohevet, or hu hachi ohev, he loves whatever the most, and I love whatever the most. And so here, the one that we use, whether it's ohev or ohevet, is of course going to depend on the subject, whoever the person is that loves whatever it is the most. So for example, ani hachi ohevet et habayit hazeh. Okay, I love this house the most. Okay, or this house is my favorite. Another way of saying that. Or hu hachi ohev et hamakom hazeh. Okay, he loves this place the most. And notice that hachi goes before both adjectives and the verbs. So hachi ahuv alai or הכי אוהבת. Okay, the הכי comes first. So here's a masculine example, אני הכי אוהב את המקום הזה, and a feminine example, אני הכי אוהבת את הספר הזה. I love this book the most, or this book is my favorite. So those are three ways or three different phrases that you can use to talk about your favorite things. The first two use the adjective ahuv, which means loved. And of course, you're going to adjust the adjective based on the gender of whatever it is that you say is your favorite or this thing that you love. So either hachi ahuv alai, okay? And of course, for alai, you can swap out any of the prepositional pronouns that start with al. So if I'm talking about his favorite or our favorite or their favorite, instead of saying alai, for our favorite, I would say aleinu. For his favorite, I would say alav. For her favorite, I would say alea, okay? And you can get the full list of prepositional pronouns in the guide to Hebrew prepositions that I have linked in the video description below. So hachi ahuv alai, my favorite. Ha-ahuv alai, again, my favorite. Or hachi ohev or hachi ohevet, another way of expressing favorites. Okay, and you can find these graphics that were in this video on my Instagram page at the Kefar. Okay, so that's it. That's all for today. Toda l'tzfiya. If you like this video, give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the notification so you don't miss a video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below if there are other topics that you would like me to cover in future videos. Go to thekefar.com/Hebrew if you're interested in learning Hebrew online. Check out these featured videos below, and I'll see you for the next Hebrew video. Lehitraot.